You wake up, have your coffee, eat lunch, and repeat habits that seem harmless but are putting you at risk of a stroke. The leading cause of disability in old age, stroke, is preventable, but many people continue to make mistakes that silently damage their brains. In this video, we reveal the 3 most dangerous post-meal habits and what you can do to protect your mind, body, and autonomy. You will understand why napping, taking a hot bath, or eating certain types of food can put your life at risk. More than 300 people suffer a stroke every day. Most of them could have been avoided if they had received this warning in time. Watch until the end and share with those you love. A simple change in routine can save a life. It can save yours. Subscribe to the channel to receive new health alerts every week with real, direct tips that protect your life. Have you ever stopped to think that a simple daily habit could be silently leading you to a stroke? Sometimes it's not something we do wrong once in our lives, but something we repeat every day, thinking it's harmless. The truth is that after the age of 60, our body becomes more sensitive to imbalances that previously seemed insignificant. And many elderly people continue to follow old routines without realizing that they are putting themselves closer and closer to a real and devastating risk. Stroke, cerebrovascular accident, is the second leading cause of death in Brazil and the leading cause of permanent disability in old age. But the scariest thing is that it can be silent, painless, without warning until it's too late. Let's start with a common scenario. A person wakes up, drinks coffee in a hurry, forgets to take their blood pressure medication, goes about their daily activities, and around noon, decides to have lunch. After the meal, they go straight to bed to take a nap. It seems harmless, doesn't it? But this behavior, repeated every day, is one of the factors that most increases the risk of stroke in elderly people. This is because, after meals, there is a natural redirection of blood flow to the digestive system. And when you lie down immediately, without giving your body time to distribute this flow correctly, you overload your circulation and increase the chance of a sudden drop in blood pressure, which can cause cerebral microthromby, especially in those who already have a history of hypertension or poor circulation. And there's more. Taking a shower right after eating, especially a hot shower, is another habit that seems innocent but can increase the risk. When the body is digesting, it needs blood in the stomach. But when it comes into contact with hot water, the blood vessels in the skin dilate and pull this blood to the surface. The result? A sudden drop in blood pressure that, in older people, can lead to dizziness, fainting, and even an ischemic stroke. Another dangerous and very common behavior is the excessive consumption of salt and fat in foods that seem homemade. Many elderly people believe that because they eat rice, beans, and meat every day, they are on a safe diet. But the truth is that the excess salt hidden in industrialized seasonings, ready-made broths, canned foods, and the excessive use of refined salt is silently raising blood pressure. Constant and unmonitored high blood pressure is the main gateway to stroke. And when it arrives, it does not warn. It can happen on a normal day, during a walk, during a bath, or even while sleeping. And there is an even more common and more neglected mistake: stopping taking medication on your own because you feel better. This is a fatal trap. Many seniors, when they realize that their blood pressure is stable, think they can stop taking the medication. But blood pressure control is a direct result of continued use of the medication. Stopping, even for a few days, can cause a rebound effect and lead to a hypertensive crisis, which, in seconds, turns into a serious stroke. Furthermore, a subtle sedentary lifestyle, where a person spends most of the day sitting, watching TV, or using a cell phone, is another powerful risk factor. The brain needs constant oxygenation, and the body needs movement. Light walks, daily stretching, constant hydration, and a natural diet rich in potassium, such as bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes, and spinach, help keep blood pressure under control and protect the blood vessels in the brain. But perhaps the most cruel mistake is the one that comes disguised as emotional neglect, not talking about the symptoms. Many elderly people feel dizzy, have blurred vision, or have a slight tingling sensation in their face or arms and simply don't tell anyone. They think it's due to age, the heat, or the pressure of the day. And so they waste their golden time. Because a stroke has signs, and they appear. The difference between life and death lies in the time it takes to react. Did you know that if care is provided within the first 3 hours, the chances of recovery without after effects are much greater? But this only happens if the person recognizes the signs and seeks help. Therefore, the first step to avoiding the worst is to learn to listen to your body and act quickly. And the second step is to eliminate the mistakes that are being made without realizing it. Those that are part of the routine, but that need to be corrected now. And there's one mistake in particular that I haven't mentioned yet, and that's more common than it seems. What you do immediately after eating could be your biggest enemy. You already know that some simple habits repeated daily can put your brain health at risk, especially after the age of 60. But now we're going to talk clearly about what you should never do right after a meal if you want to protect your brain from a stroke and preserve its autonomy for longer. The first most dangerous mistake is lying down right after eating. This habit, common in many elderly people, especially after lunch, interrupts the natural process of digestion. When you lie down, the body has difficulty maintaining adequate blood flow between the digestive system and the brain. In people who are predisposed to this can cause a sudden drop in blood pressure, dizziness, fainting, and, in more serious cases, an interruption of cerebral blood flow. In other words, an ischemic stroke. The safest alternative is to take a light walk indoors, even if it is only for a few minutes, or sit in a comfortable position with your spine straight, allowing your body to digest properly. Also avoid napping for up to an hour after eating. Ideally, your body should be in a light state of movement or alertness to facilitate the work of the cardiovascular system. The second mistake is taking a shower immediately after eating. And here, the problem is aggravated if it is a hot shower. This is because the heat of the water causes vasodilation. That is, the blood vessels open and pull blood flow to the skin, taking the focus away from digestion. Result: once again, your brain may suffer a decrease in blood flow, which causes mental confusion, dizziness, imbalance, and, in severe cases, circulatory collapse. Ideally, you should wait at least an hour and a half after eating before taking a shower. And always choose warm or cold water, which does not cause thermal shock and keeps your circulation more stable. This is especially important for those with a history of high blood pressure, diabetes, or cardiac arrhythmia, factors that exponentially increase the risk of stroke. The third critical mistake is eating foods rich in salt and fat early in the day, especially during breakfast. Many people still have the habit of eating bread with margarine, yellow cheese, sausages, and strong coffee with refined sugar, all ingredients that quickly alter blood pressure and cholesterol levels. This type of diet, especially on an empty stomach, causes spikes in glucose and blood pressure, which overload the cerebral vessels. The best breakfast choice is a meal rich in fiber, potassium, and good fats. Fruits such as bananas and papaya, oats, chia, nuts, boiled eggs, avocado, and a mild tea are excellent options. This combination helps regulate blood pressure, glucose, and improves the health of blood vessels, reducing the risk of a silent stroke. And now, an unspoken truth: stroke is rarely a bolt from the blue. More often than not, it is the result of years of small oversights. From the forgotten pill, the seemingly harmless salt, the nap after lunch, the "I'll look into it later" that never comes. So here are 3 practical steps you can start taking today to protect your brain health. 1. Measure your blood pressure at least twice a week, even if you feel fine. Use a reliable digital device and keep track of it in writing. 2. Drastically reduce the amount of salt and ready-made seasonings in your diet. Choose natural herbs, garlic, onion, and extra virgin olive oil. 3. Include light movement in your day, 10 minutes of walking after meals, stretching when you wake up and before going to bed, and constant hydration with pure water, not soda, not artificial juices. These actions, although they may seem small, are powerful when practiced every day. They strengthen your vascular system, improve your circulation, and protect your brain. More than that, they give you more years of lucidity, more time with autonomy, more true moments with those you love. Life after 60 doesn't have to be a minefield. It can be a fertile field, full of wisdom, discovery, and joy. But only if you take care of your foundation, your brain and your heart. You still have time. Stroke is real, it's cruel, but it's also preventable. And sometimes the difference between living life to the fullest or depending on someone forever is in the choice you make after your next plate of food. Take care of yourself. Your body is still trying to warn you. It just needs you to listen. If this video helped you, leave a like and comment below. Have you ever made any of these mistakes without knowing? Subscribe to the channel to receive new health alerts every week with real direct tips that protect your life. Activate the bell so you don't miss any content that could make a difference in your future. This is a place of care, knowledge, and longevity.